Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is Matty here from Chill TCG. Today we're going to be taking a look at the deck list that won our 450 player Chill Series number 26 tournament, which wrapped up this past Wednesday. The tournament was won by Nicola Zappulla, I believe is how you pronounce his name. A fantastic player, and he was of course playing Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. Now this is, in my opinion, to be one of the best decks in our format right now. It has a fantastic matchup spread. It's insanely consistent. The damage output is consistent. It's just an overall really great list. The skeleton for Rapid Strike Urshifu has been pretty much figured out, at least for this standard format that we're in right now. And there's a few different inclusions that you can kind of take in and out depending on what sort of the playing field looks like. Depending on which tournament you're going into or what people are playing for other deck lists. Now, I do want to mention that we did cover this list, or a list very similar to this, a few weeks ago, but this is an updated version. There's a few things that are different. We're going to be highlighting those differences, and then we're going to be getting into some gameplay. Now, again, the Pokemon lineup is very, very similar. We do have a 4-3 Urshifu lineup. We have 1 Crobat, 2 Dedennes instead of 2 Crobat, 1 Dedenne. Power Plant is a little bit less common nowadays in the format. We got the 1 Good in here, the 4 Jirachis. We are running the Scoop Up Net Jirachi engine. We have the Jirachi-GX, which eliminates your Psychic weakness when it's in play, which is definitely very, very good. We have a Mew here to protect our bench in the mirror matchup specifically, but also against Pikarom or some other things, maybe like Inteleon VMAX or whatever, or Cramorants, whatever we might be playing. We have a Mewtwo here to get our supporters back from the discard pile, kind of the preferable version over Eldegoss, especially if you are playing the Scoop Up Net engine. And then on top of that, we do have Giratina. Now, this is one thing that I want to mention. Giratina is really good in the list right now, or at least it was at Chill Series. And right now, even in the format, just overall, I think that running Giratina is very smart in Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX because of all of those Eternatus VMAXs, which are still being played. Etern is one of the most played decks right now in our format right now, and everyone is running those Weakness Guard energies to improve their matchup against Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. Giratina, of course, helps with that. We get to discard those Weakness Guard energies and then just go in and attack for weakness. Extremely important. On top of that, Giratina, to better help with the E-turn matchup, as well as other matchups as well, it's just going to be the Martial Arts Dojo, which I said from the beginning was going to be really important in this list. With Dojo, of course, our attacks do 10 more damage, but if we're behind on prize cards, they do 40 more damage. So definitely a really important stadium card. Doing 160 twice with Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX is going to be 100% better than hitting for 150 twice. That's the difference between us 2-hit KOing a lot of VMAX Pokemon, and not 2-hit KOing those VMAX Pokemon, or with the Zigzagoon Bings 1-hit KOing E-turn VMAX with weakness, right? So you just got to keep that in mind. I think that the Dojo is extremely, extremely important. But yeah, that's the Pokemon lineup. We have 19 Pokemon in total. Everything is pretty much pretty standard overall, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, if we look onto the trainer cards, we do have 1 Great Catcher on top of the 3 Bosses Orders, so plenty of different gusting options. But we do, of course, also have... Oh, actually, you know what? We don't. In this list, we're not running any Escape Ropes, which is actually very, very, very interesting for sure to note. I know a lot of Urshifu decks are running Escape Ropes on top of switching cards, but Nico's list, it wasn't, and that's actually very interesting for sure. We have 3 Pokemon Communications on top of 4 Quick Balls for our Pokemon search. We do have 4 Scoop Up Nets, 4 Switch cards, and 2 Air Balloons, so plenty of switching options. Gonna make those Jirachis really great pivots. The Scoop Up Net is just going to be really important for a lot of our different cards in our deck. If we could run more than 4 Scoop Up Nets, we probably would, to be 100% honest with you. And then we got the Dojos on top of that. Onto the supporters, we have 3 Boss, 4 Marnie, 4 Research, and we do have 1 Phoebe here. Now, this Phoebe is going to be extremely good in a lot of scenarios, specifically against Decidueye, Luke Metal, just being able to make sure that we hit for that consistent damage without any sort of effects or modifications on our opponent's Pokemon. Gonna be really important. Now, one thing to note, this does only work for the active Pokemon, so we cannot play Phoebe and then KO like 2 Decidueyes or something on our opponent's bench, or like 2 Altarias. But it does affect or work with the active Pokemon, so that's something to keep in mind. I think that the Phoebe is a really good call right now, since Decidueye has been also really successful and pretty heavily played also in our format right now. So I do think that the Phoebe's good. Running the 4-4 Marty Research, so plenty of draw support on top of the 2 Dedenne. 1 Crobat, make sure this deck is as consistent as possible, of course, even with the 4 Jirachis. 2 Air Balloons, again, probably just the best tool card to be running with Urshifu. Making sure that you have that free retreat pivot, double switch out option to get the full effect of Gale Thrust consistently is probably more effective than running maybe Telescopic Sight in the deck. However, I do think Telescopic Sight could be very interesting, but for the most part, I think that Air Balloon, is the most important thing, right? When we're coming from damage modifications, we usually are just going with Dojo. And, with the gusting options, it should just be totally fine. And then, of course, for the energies, we're just running 9. We have 4 of the Rapid Strike energies, And on top of that, we have 5 Fighting Energy. So that is the list. This is the list that won Chill Series number 26. It beat out 450 other players. Rapid Strike Urshifu has been, in my opinion, it might even be the best deck in our format right now. It just is super consistent. The damage output is very, very good. And in this format right now, which is kind of like a grindy 2-hit KO style format, Urshifu VMAX does that better than almost anything. And I do think that it is a phenomenal list. And yeah, I don't have much else to say. Now, I would say, like, this is a list that does kind of center around making sure that you can beat Eternatus VMAX. Like, if Mewtwo decks were extremely popular in the format, this Giratina might be replaced with perhaps like a Mimikyu, right, to help with that matchup. But for the most part, I think that with the Jirachi-GX, your Pikarom matchup is totally fine. They're not really running any way to, like, boss up your Jirachi and KO it, or, like, hit it on the bench or anything like that super easily. But you know, it's just something to note, I suppose, right? Dragapult is a little bit less common. They do still run power plants, but you know what? I think that this list does extremely well against Etern, Pikarom, and a lot of the decks in our format right now. So I'm excited. Let's get into some games, guys. Big shout out to Nico for this list. Congrats on winning Chill Series number 26. We're going to get into some gameplay, showcase this deck a little bit, because I know you guys like to watch me play, even though I make tons of misplays, but it's fine. It's totally fine. I'm cool with it. All right, let's get into it, guys. Let's play some games. All right, getting into it. Let's go. I do have some experience with Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. Now, it's not something I play like all the time. To be fair, it is a deck that I do like to play. But you know what? I think that overall, it's not the hardest deck to play, although it isn't the easiest deck to play either. But it is extremely good. We're going to choose to go first. We're playing against Omega Flurry 22. Let's see what we start with. We do start with the Jirachi, but nothing really else too progressive in our hand here. Hopefully we can draw into like a quick ball or maybe top deck a Pokemon or something like that. There's the other Jirachi, which is extremely nice. I might just calm that thing away right off the gate here. Let's see what we find with Stellar Wish right off the bat. Okay, so we find the Marnie, which is actually preferable. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the Marnie. And now what I'm just going to do is calm away the Jirachi real quick. We're going to look through. So we did prize a VMAX, which is fine. It looks like we have all our draw support here. We have our Mewtwo, Giratina, Mew, Jirachi, Zigzagoon. So I think we just prized a VMAX in terms of our Pokemon, in my opinion. How many Jirachi, actually? Yeah, okay, so we didn't prize any Jirachi. We got our Great Catcher. We used a Calm just now. So we have all of our Calms, all of our Quick Balls. We got all our Scoop Up Nets, all of our Switches, Dojos. It looks like we have all of our Boss. I think we prized 1 Marnie and 2 Research, as well as maybe 1 or 2 Fighting Energies. So we're a little bit low on energies and our Researches. But we're going to be fine here. We're going to go in. And now I feel safe just going ahead and attaching to this Urshifu VMAX. We should be fine for living this turn, to be 100% honest with you. And I'm just going to go ahead and rock out here until next turn. We're going to be able to Jirachi again here. We could even have a Scoop Up Net switch, so we could kind of shuffle through as well. Our main goal here is to just find our VMAX. So, you know, if we Marnie into it, if we have to Marnie, or maybe we, we have to sift through our deck a little bit with a couple Stellar Wishes, we should be fine here. Looks like we are playing Cramorant VMAX, which is going to be an interesting matchup for sure, actually. Now, this matchup isn't necessarily great for us, 100% honest with you. What would be preferable, though, is if he goes ahead like he grabs Skyla here, and then potentially we see him beat catch, because we can Marnie away his hand. So he's actually just grabbing the switch with Skyla, which is interesting. So he is probably going to switch in and beat catch, which should be good for us because we can Marnie his hand away, which is always preferable. So now we definitely want to Marnie, to be 100% honest with you. And he goes ahead and grabs what he needs with the beat catch here. So now we have a quick ball, which is actually super nice. I'm going to go straight ahead, attach that energy. And we're going to go ahead and Stellar Wish now. Now we see the Dojo. This could be pretty sweet. I do just actually want to grab it right off the gate here. It might be better to save it and then play it after he puts down Glimwood, but he's running 4 Glimwoods in his list, so I'm not entirely super confident that it matters too much. I'm going to get the Dojo down in case we do get an attack off this turn. And it might be smart, actually, for us to go for the G-Max Rapid Flow to try to KO that Porygon. We still want a Marnie, right, for sure. So we have an extra switch in our hand, so it'll probably be Quick Balled away. Maybe we Crobat this turn as well. But I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to scoop up the Jirachi. I'm going to go back into it. We still have a lot of our switching options as well. And now we actually have Air Balloon too, which is actually pretty good. So we are just going to go ahead. I'm going to grab Air Balloon. We're going to go ahead and do that here. Now, what I want to do is I don't want to switch into Urshifu this turn because we want to evolve first. Actually, it probably doesn't matter, to be 100% honest. But we are going to discard that switch card. And we're going to go ahead and Crobat, and just to draw some cards here, where we still want to end our turn with Marnie for sure, but we want to find the VMAX as well as a way to switch into it. So there's the VMAX. How many switch are we down? So we're down 2 switch. We only have 2 left in our deck, but we do have some Scoop Up Nets as well. But I think evolving is going to be preferable. Let's put down this Rapid Strike Urshifu here, because we're probably going to want a second one either way. And now I think that we have to Marnie here. It would be nice to Dedenne, but I think it's going to be too good for us if we Marnie and disrupt his hand. And we find the Scoop Up Net, which is extremely good. So we did get pretty fortunate there for sure. So I'm just going to go ahead and scoop it up. And now, actually, I definitely want a G-Max Rapid Flow. I'm going to keep this Jirachi in hand just in case. No reason, because we're pretty safe from getting KO next turn. In case we do get Marnie, though, I am going to attach this this air balloon here. And actually, I might bench this Jirachi, but I actually don't think we need to because we have research in hand. So I'm going to keep it. But I do think G-Max Rapid Flow is our best decision here. Just KOing this Porygon, taking the prize, as well as some damage onto this Cramorant is going to be good. And I think from there, we probably won't need to do it. I just think it's the safer play. Personally, we could just go ahead and attack this this Cram for the 160. But personally, I don't know. Like, I don't want to take the risk that he has something in hand, right? It's going to be that we're a little bit low on energies, but I think that we're going to spend some energies here to take some prize cards. Only doing 100 to the Cram, it does resist fighting. And we pull 1 energy there, which was pretty good, for sure. Although we might be researching it away this turn. So we're already down fighting in a Rapid Strike energy. Now he doesn't have a Porygon on his bench, so it's going to be a little while at least before he sets up the VMAX. There's the Glimwood, which again, like I said, we could have held on to the dojo, but I didn't think that it was necessarily that important. He only has a 3-card hand here, so he could whiff the VMAX. That's something that he could do for sure. So we'll see. We'll see what comes of it. He's going to attach to the bench. And he's going to go ahead and put the Porygon down. I like all this that he's doing. Okay, so he has the Crobat, which is good for us, to be honest with you. We like that Crobat just because it's an easy 3 prizes, to be 100% honest with you. Okay, so he's going to go ahead and beat catch again. Unfortunately, our Marnies are in our deck still, which isn't super ideal here. We're down 2 Scoop Up Nets and 2 Switch, so we only have 2 of each left in the deck, so we got to be a little bit cautious keeping that in mind. We can get the KO on this Cram here, which is important. I think, for sure. And that might be just our best play here. So we actually just drew into another Jirachi, so we can go ahead and bench that one. Now what I want to do is Calm. And I want to grab the VMAX because I want to switch in and just get an attack off this turn. Like to be 100% honest with you. We're going to attach to the bench guy. Now, I feel pretty safe just retreating in here. And we're going to research. We are discarding that energy. But unfortunately, we're not going to be able to Marty him this turn. Now we draw into double switch. But I think that our best option still, regardless, is just going to be to KO this Cramorant. We go down to 3 prize cards, and then we're just 1 boss's orders away from winning the game. So I think that our best play is just going to go ahead and Gale for us to take the KO here. Definitely ideal here. We're going to take 2 prize cards. Let's see, we grab the Marnie. So he did beat catch last turn, so he is going to get the Porygon Z out. But we have the boss's orders in hand, so now all we need is the Rapid Strike energy. And we have 2 Dedennes left in our deck here. We could get knocked out this turn. He's got a big hand. He's going to go ahead and Crazy Code. Again, we're not safe this turn. We are definitely not safe here. He does have the Glimwood out. I don't know how many heads he needs to flip. I think he needs to flip like 4 or 5 heads, to be honest with you. But we'll see. He's going to load this thing up. Okay, so there's 4 energies. He does have the Triple XL as well, potentially. For sure. So this could be a really big turn for him. I still think that this was our best option, to be 100% honest with you. Let's see what his discard pile is. Okay, yeah. So he's going to quick ball away the Porygon Z. The Porygon Z actually has 130 HP, but we do have a Zigzagoon, so we're still able to take 3 prize cards in this in 1 attack eventually. If we don't get KO'd here, we're in a much better position for that to happen, to be honest with you, but we'll see. Okay, so there's the Triple XL. So now we're just kind of hoping and praying that we live here. So he's doing 80 for each, so yeah, he needs to hit 5. 5 out of 7, which he can definitely do, to be honest with you. He can definitely do that. If he has a way to draw more cards here, that could be also pretty unfortunate for us, because 7 right now, we still kind of like our odds. Like 5 out of 7 is not super easy for him to do. Actually, it just has to be 4 because he does have the powerful energy on, to be honest with you. So he just needs to hit 4. Just needs to hit 4. 8 times 4, 320, but plus the powerless is, or the powerful energy is going to be 340. So he just needs 4 out of 7. So our odds are not as good for sure. All right, what do we see here? Okay, we see the Crobat. Very interesting for sure. So he's going to go ahead, draw 3 more. Could we potentially see more energy coming from him? He could have drawn into a research or something too. But no, he's just going to go ahead and go for it. All right, let's watch these coins flip. All right, there's the 3. Okay, cool. So that's fine. He's going to flip again. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, he already got it. Unfortunate, for sure. But, I mean, I guess, like, the odds were a little bit in his favor, to be 100% honest with you. Now, the problem here is I don't want to go back into my my Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, to be 100% fair. Just because it could be a little bit sketchy. So we're just going to hope that he doesn't have the boss's orders, right? And we're probably going to have to Marnie him this turn, to be 100% honest with you. So I think what we need to do is we're going to go ahead and Quick Ball. We're going to grab the Zigzagoon here. Because, again, our best shot here, unfortunately, is going to be just to find boss. I think that that's our best win condition. We could attack this thing, but then we're kind of in a spot where, you know, he can, of course, hit it, like, KO it next turn. So we don't want that to happen at all, right? So I'm going to go ahead and Marnie it. I'm going to hope that this Marnie disrupts his hand, kind of drops him from some energies, or mainly hope that he doesn't have boss here. This Great Catcher isn't exactly going to help us, but if we can find boss... okay, so there's a Scoop Up Net. So I think our best priority here is going to be to try to find boss's orders. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and loop here a little bit. I can put that Jirachi back down. I'm pretty fine with that. Okay, so we find the boss's orders. So now we just hope that he doesn't have boss and then KOs our Urshifu, right? That's going to be our only hope, I think. So now we're just chilling. Again, he can Marnie us. He could just have boss and then get the KO here. There's a lot of things that could go right for him. But again, I think that this was still our best win condition. There wasn't much else for us to actually do. He's going to go ahead and load up his thing with more energies. Okay, so he's going to Marnie us, which is unfortunate because we had the 2 cards that we needed in our hand. Marnie is just like that sometimes. Although we do have another Jirachi. I think that we should have another Rapid Strike energy in our deck here. Okay, so this is a little bit better for us. Let's see if we see the boss here. All right, he already just Marnied us, so no boss. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so now he's flipping all the tails. That's fine. There you go. Good for you, my dude. Okay, so we have all of our boss's orders left in our deck, which is pretty nerve-wracking, I think. How many Scoop Ups? So we have only 1 Switch, 1 Scoop Up. I think it's risky going into Jirachi, to be 100% honest with you, because we're probably going to Dedenne this turn. So to be honest, I'm just going to go ahead and go into Rapid Strike, because we do have Air Balloon either way. We're going to attach the energy to it, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to Dedenne. We are going to Dedenne. I think that we can put down Giratina just because it doesn't actually matter. And we can just discard the powerful. Because why not? Okay, so now we're going to Dedenne. Again, we just need to draw into boss's orders. And then we have a chance to win the game. And there's the boss. So very, very good for sure. And that's kind of what I'm talking about with how this deck is so consistent. We're going to just say, well played. And we're going to go ahead and KO the Crobat and the Porygon Z. Now, of course, it came down to boss's orders, right? I mean, most decks do. But that matchup isn't necessarily great for us, to be 100% honest with you. They resist fighting. They're able to one-shot our Urshifu VMAX. There aren't many decks in the format right now that can do the things that Cramorant VMAX can do. But I think that with the consistency of Urshifu and just the ability to take those multiple prize cards in one turn is absolutely phenomenal. And he didn't bench Dedenne there. Like, if he had benched Dedenne, we would have had game, like, pretty much anyway, because we also had a Great Catcher out. Yeah. Okay. So that was game number 1. That was game number 1. Hopefully I played it somewhat good. I honestly don't know. I probably could have made it so a little bit easier for us to get our win condition. I don't know. At least you guys could see. At least you guys could see just how powerful the deck can be. It looks like now we're playing Nono Poka? Pokeka? I don't know, man. strange name, but it looks like he might be playing a Psychic archetype, which is something that this deck struggles a little bit more with. We do, of course, would like to, hit those E-turns. But on the ladder here, we're probably not going to see as many E-turns as we typically would see in, like, a tournament format, for sure. Our starting hand isn't super ideal here, but I think that, I think I'm just going to go ahead and start Mew. Okay, so he is going to mulligan here. We're going to take a look at his hand, get an idea of what deck he might be playing here. Surprise Box, Tag Call, Evolution Incense. So this looks like it could just be a very interesting sort of Mewtwo list. To be honest with you, I'm not too familiar with like Mewtwo decks, so I don't know. Could just be Psychic Mewtwo, which is actually a very good deck right now in our format. But we'll see. Our hand isn't terrible at all. We don't have energy, so we're probably going to have to dig. He mulliganed 7 times. So I don't know what deck this dude's playing. I don't think I've ever seen that before in my life. Okay, so now we have a lot of options for sure. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually just going to quick ball away the Marnie. And I'm going to grab the Rapid Strike Urshifu V. We're going to attach to it. And now I want to straight up get as many things on the board this turn because he's probably going to Horror House his next turn, right? That's his strategy. So actually what I want to do is I'm going to quick ball away just more of these trainer cards, right? Because that's going to be his ultimate goal here. We're going to grab the Jirachi. We're going to put the Dojo down. And now I think, unfortunately, we kind of have to burn these more trainer cards in our hand, right? Grabbing Jirachi could have been really good, for sure. Could have been very good, for sure, indeed. Yeah, we can just go into here. I'm cool with that. Oh, the game lagged out there a little bit. That's fine. And then I'm actually just going to switch back into Mew. I want to burn these trainer cards because, again, he's probably going to Horror House us, right? And then he's going to try to Poltergeist. So I'm pretty cool with our hand right here. We have 3 trainer cards in hand. But I think we're just going to go ahead and pass. We can Marnie next turn. If he doesn't Horror House GX us, he probably will. Yeah, not a matchup that I have too much experience with. I'm not super familiar with a deck like this or playing against a deck like this. It looks like it's just sort of good old Gengar Mimikyu, which of course isn't a great matchup for us. He is hitting for weakness. But I think the Jirachi GX was important, and I think that getting the Rapid Strike Urshifu with energy on was also important here. Okay, so now we see that he is running Power Plant, which is very bad for us, for sure. Very bad for us indeed. So it looks like we will see the Horror House GX, and we cannot play any cards from our hand next turn, which is very unfortunate. So it looks like we're just going to be chilling. And we're just going to have to pass. The Power Plant, so if he has like the boss Power Plant in his hand, could be very tough for us. Would be very, very bad for sure. But we'll see if we can get out of this for sure. We have the Giratina. So he's actually playing greens, which is pretty interesting. We can Marnie next turn. We can Jirachi, Scoop Up Net, switch in there, get some things down. We are down 2 switch, and we have our second Scoop Up Net in our hand. And we do have another energy, but yeah, it's going to be a little bit tricky for us. The Power Plant is a little bit scary because it does shut down our Jirachi GX. We would have to find our second Dojo to get that sort of out of the way here. But we'll see. We'll see what we're going to be able to do. I'm actually pretty excited for this matchup. Greens, Gengar, Mimikyu. Okay, so it's that's with the Fossil Lock as well. A little bit sketchy for us. We'll see. Hopefully, maybe if he doesn't play down the Power Plant this turn, that could be pretty important, right? Because we can Marnie away his hand here. Yeah, he's gonna put it down. I think that's probably a pretty safe play. He's doing 150 because we have the 4 in hand. Or sorry, he's doing 200. In fact, I'm not even sure exactly how that works. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. We're gonna have to go into Urshifu here. I think that's just our best decision. Or our best play. We can attach the energy here. We're going to go ahead and put down the Jirachi. We're going to Giratina. Discard the Horror here. Now I think that what we have to do is we have to Marnie, which isn't great. Isn't really good for us. We could free retreat into Jirachi, but then we're kind of missing out on a turn of potentially attacking. But again, we don't want to leave this in the active spot either way. So I might actually just free retreat, just to kind of guarantee that we can, you know, stall off the bench until, of course, we do find the, you know, our other stadium. Kind of a tough play, but we are just actually going to do that. I'm going to Stellar Wish first. Okay, more switches and more Scoop Up Nets. We're not going to actually grab any of that. And now I'm going to go ahead and Marnie away his hand. I don't know exactly what he's got in his hand, but we're just going to hope that we don't draw into a bunch of trainer cards. And we don't, which is good. Right? And now I am actually just going to bench this second Jirachi and hope that he doesn't have boss's orders. That's kind of our play. I don't know how many power plants this dude's running in his deck. If he's running more than one, that's going to be definitely really difficult for us to get around, for sure. But hopefully that Marnie kind of stopped him in his tracks a bit. Right? That's kind of like our best hope, I think. So we'll see. Definitely not a good matchup. I mean, this is a deck that I think is specifically made to counter our deck. Okay, so he just puts that down and he passes, actually, which is pretty preferable for us. In all seriousness, we're going to attach the double energy there. Do we need this extra bench space? I mean, we could potentially hold it for like a draw supporter, so I think that that's actually what we're going to do here. We're going to Stellar Wish. We do not find, unfortunately, the dojo. We would like the dojo. We don't want to go into Urshifu without the dojo, right? But actually what we can do is just make sure that we don't have a lot of, like, drawing cards here may not even be the best decision, right? So that's just like my thought. Because if we don't have a lot of cards in our hand, it's not actually going to matter per se, right? So we got to be careful drawing cards. Like what we could do, like was what I'm saying, is we could kind of burn a couple of these trainer cards and then just rock out with just the research in hand and go in and just get the attack off, which is probably the best option to be 100% fair. So what I'm actually going to do here is I am actually just going to grab a draw supporter, but I'm not draw support Pokemon. But I'm not going to play it, and we're going to scoop up the Jirachi and just go into the old Rapid Strike Urshifu. And now we can just hit for Gale Thrust. It is resisting, or there is resistance there. If we find a Goon Ping, we can KO this thing next turn, but we do need to find a double switch. We haven't found any of our Air Balloon, and we are down 2 switch and 2 Scoop Up Nets. But if he attacks us, he's only doing 100 damage, because we only have 1 trainer card in our hand, unless he Marnies us or reset stamps us to a 6, which he probably could definitely do. Okay, he's actually just going to boss. So what is he going to KO here? Is he actually... Okay, so he's just going to defensively boss, which is definitely pretty interesting for sure. Now, I am going to play the Crobat here. This is very interesting for sure. I'm going to attach to this guy. Affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. This doesn't remove resistance or anything like that. And it doesn't do anything to the big charm either, unfortunately. It looks like we could research here. Researching would be a little bit sus, though, just in case. But I think that we have to kind of go in and we have to find... we need a switch card, right? And we also need Goon Ping. We have 2 comms, or we have 3 comms. Sorry, no, we have 2 comms and 2 quick balls left. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and research. It's kind of risky. But again, we could find the dojo as well. This is actually a pretty good hand, all things considered. But unfortunately, we do not find the... we do not find the like a way to Goon Ping. What I might do is G-Max Rapid Flow and actually just KO both of these guys here on the bench. And I think that that's actually going to be our best option. We just don't want him to get the lock off. So I'm actually just going to do that. We are discarding some energies doing that. We haven't played any yet, but we are going to be able to take a couple prize cards by doing that, which is definitely good here. Now we have the quick ball, so we can Goon Ping. We just need a switch card, but we can retreat into Jirachi. I'm going to potentially try to find that. He actually just passes, so he's like whiffing on energies, which is super cool for us, to be 100% honest. And now I kind of want to bench this Urshifu. I do want to bench this Urshifu, but we're going to go ahead and discard this Jirachi. We're going to find the Goon Ping, so I guess we definitely don't want to bench the Urshifu. We don't really want to Marnie him either, to be honest with you. We're going to go ahead and ping this thing, so now a Gale Thrust We'll get the KO here. So what we need is a switch card and energy. But we're gonna research. I think it's very likely that we're able to find this, and yeah, we just have it here in hand. And he's gonna go ahead and pass. All right. Okay. I don't know, guys. You know, very interesting matchups today with Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. Probably not what you expected to watch. Playing this deck here versus a Cramorant VMAX and like a Gengar, Greens Gengar Mimikyu. But I think hopefully you get an idea of how good this list can be, how consistent it is, and just how impressive it is. Not that me playing it, but how impressive the list is in general. Extremely good. I do think it's one of the best decks in the format, personally. I really do. It's a phenomenal deck. But yeah, that's the video, guys. I can't honestly be here all day trying to get good gameplay. Take my word for it. It has a good E-turn matchup, a very good E-turn matchup. And if you guys are interested in seeing that matchup, go check out the finals match from the tournament. It's got about almost 4,000 views now. It was a great match, great gameplay, and a great example of how your Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX can do against E-turn VMAX in that matchup. This list specifically, this exact list. So if you're interested, go check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching, though. I've been Matty from Chill TCG. Chill Series number 27 is coming up on Wednesday, guys. It's going to be phenomenal. This week it is 2 Battle Styles packs to enter, so it's not free entry this week, unfortunately. But it's going to be a fantastic tournament nonetheless. I'm super excited for it. And link to register will be down in the description below. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Matty from Chill TCG. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I got a really fun deck list that we're going to be taking a look at tomorrow. I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm going to get out of here. We're going to get out of here. Peace out, guys. Hope you guys have a good day, and we'll see you later.